Knicks fans, welcome to another episode of Delusional Knicks Fan Network, where we bring you that Knicks content that you need. We got breaking news. James Harden has opted into his $35.6 million contract and is working on a trade with the 76ers to get him up out of there. So James Harden has played his last game in Philadelphia, which is opening up trade rumors. Apparently, the New York Knicks, as well as the Clippers, are front runners, as you can see, to land James Harden. First, I want to say, to go on record, if I'm the Knicks, I would not do this trade. I would not. This will particularly take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hand. We already see what Brunson has done last year, establishing pretty much all-star caliber, a star caliber player for the Knicks. We can see what he could do with the ball in his hands and in the playoffs, taking his game to the next level. So adding a James Harden, yes, it could be beneficial, but then it also could stop, the growth. I can't say stop the growth of Jalen Brunson because we saw how he could play with Luka. But we want Brunson to be the focal point, and not a 35-year-old. Excuse me, is he 35? 33, excuse me, a 33-year-old come in who's making a ton of money on a short deal. It would literally be a 1 year rental if we go out and try to get James Harden. But to start it off, it's good to entertain. Honestly, it's the off season. This is what we look forward to. Everybody loves Nick off season. Why? Because of scenarios and situations like this, where you have a batter's chance of getting a home run with certain players. The Knicks do have uh, the access to go and get these players in a trade. Whether it's Grimes, whether it's Opie, whether it's Fournier expiring contract, these are scenarios that we can kind of throw forth and get a star player and in these first round draft picks. But let's get back to James Harden though. James Harden wasn't an all star last year. He did average 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists on the year. That's legit numbers. Granted, James Harden played only 58 games. Barrett played more than that. Julius played more than that. Brunson played more than that. So, and if you a Tibbs type caliber player, availability is your best quality. And James Harden, late in his career, is very injury prone. Very injury prone. As I look at over the years with James Harden, let's put up over the years with James Harden, just his stats as far as games played. Started from OKC years. As you can see, OKC years coming off the bench, played immaculate 76, 82, 62, 78. Then, of course, first year in Houston, 78. That's solid. 73, 81, 82, 81. 72, 78. 68. Then, of course, the injury, only playing 8. Then the trade with Brooklyn, 36. Then following year, Brooklyn, 44, 21 in Philly. This first year in Philly. Actually, no, because it was during the trade during that time period as well. Then 58. So all those high tempo years down in Phoenix, down in Houston, is catching up with James right now. My guy's 33. So you trust me, I'm 34. Not feel it in the knees when I be trying to ball. Definitely not an NBA caliber player, but you get my gist of it. Uh, but he's still a high quality player, still good. He's just not going to play as much minutes as we would like and as much games. Another aspect to it is his the outsideness with James Harden. Loves to do the fashion. Is his mindset solely focused on basketball? I don't think so. Chilling out with Lil Baby. We don't want Lil Baby at the Garden. We don't want Lil Uzi Vert at the Garden. These are scenarios that I could live without. I can live. There's no doubt he has, immaculate talent, great player. But for the Knicks, it don't fit. What would be the lineup? Brunson, Harden, then of course it would what Hart, because I think Grimes is gone in that scenario trade or Barrett, so then either or somebody's gone. But then you have 2 6'5" guys as a shooting guard and a small forward. I need a bigger small forward. Pause. Then Randall and then Mitch. It's not bad, but what style of gameplay would they play? What style of gameplay would Tibbs like for them to play? Yes, Brunson, high pick and roll player, so we can allow that. Um, Greatness about James Harden is he will find players, and he's still an elite ISO player. So from that most part, it can work. But what is the ceiling when it's only a 1 year rental, in a sense? And I don't believe everybody is on par with that. I believe Ian Bagley stated that, the individuals that he spoke with in the organization, I believe Tibbs was like, no. Tibbs will definitely don't want. This sounds like a William Wesley type deal. Like, hey, we need to go and get this. Or a Leon Rose scenario where it's like, yo, we in the business to try to go get a star. He's a star. Let's put our name in a hat to see what. I just think this is more so just a filler. You throw the fishing rod out just to see who's going to bite. What's the nibble? What would it cost? Or it could potentially be a 3-team trade. You never know because the Clippers are involved. So that means that what? You could bring in Paul George. I guarantee you Tibbs would rather Paul George over James Harden. I know I would because you're getting a 6'8" wing, with ball handling. Just as similar with James Harden, but he has, I was about to say something crazy, but he's taller. So that's one of those situations where Knicks were just entertaining. I doubt this deal would happen. I hope it don't happen. If it does, then that 1 year rental could potentially open up cap space if he leaves, because I believe that's 35.6 million that you're freeing up if he goes out and walk, or you can utilize him as a trading chip mid-season. But to do all of that, I think it's unnecessary. I think the Knicks should stay patting on what they're doing, running back with a similar team, but still make some trades or some free agents pick up here and there. But ultimately, this James Harden trade is not gonna. We're not gonna do it. I can see him heading out to the Clippers would be a better suited location for him. He's back home in LA. He get to, be in his environment. It's all good. So on that note, I don't think this trade go forth. This sounds like it was a Leon Rose or William Wesley idea to just let's see what it's doing. But ultimately, Tibbs is going to have the last say in this, and he's probably going to say no. I wouldn't want that because you're dealing in his playoff numbers. Oh my God, bro! You only had like 9 points in what game 6 against Boston. He only scored 20 points one time in that Boston series, and that's when he had, I believe it was 40 something points. All the other games he had under 20. James, we don't need another playoff drought or scoring. Brunson literally was carrying the Knicks all playoff series. We don't need James to be there and stink it up in the playoffs as well. So we'll see what transpires from it. It's all entertainment. I am back. I'm ready to start putting out some more videos. So definitely look out for that because free agency is pulling me out of the grave. So on that one, deuces.
You gon' do it if I say so. I'ma do it for the pesos. I fell in love with the bass load. I fell in love with the bass load. I see the ox staying